The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Steelers' last pick.
His team had one of the best rushing defenses in college this season, and he's probably the biggest reason why. Teams eventually abandoned the run game altogether after they averaged only 1 to 2 yards per carry in the first half. Among linebackers on the team, he would always lead the point of attack, penetrating the opposing team's offensive line. Every tailback that lined up against him seemed to keep one eye on the handoff and the other searching for him. And usually when they found him, it was too late to react. He's one of the best tacklers to come out in years. Hopefully, he'll get on the field soon and help them stop the run.
Seahawks pick is in. Adam, give us the latest information on this guy.
I heard he surprised several scouts at his pro day when he showed up looking a lot leaner, and the difference showed when he went through drills. He turned in slightly faster times than expected in every major drill and displayed improved footwork compared to how he looked at the tail end of the season. I've heard from a few different coaches that they'd like to see him put some weight back on, yet keep playing as quick as he currently is. Whether he does that or not, I think we'll see him on the line on Sundays.
The Broncos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
Once thought of as a top 3 offensive line pick in the draft, a series of poor performances that saw him miss several routine blocks and surrender multiple sacks had most scouts losing interest. Ross Tucker felt that he simply fell into some bad habits with his footwork, citing a lack of focus that sometimes happens when a young kid with talent begins reading his own press clippings and becomes enamored with where he'll land in the NFL. Tucker may have been onto something regarding him reading the press clippings. After seeing reports of his draft stock slipping, he put on a performance at the Combine that turned many ahead. Not often are you granted a second chance, and that's exactly what he's received by being drafted. His new team is hoping he'll make the best of it.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
He always flashed the potential to be a playmaking defensive back in college, but scouts never saw that ability during the offseason. He didn't look confident catching the ball in reaction drills, and when he did, it took a second before he turned and ran downfield. He has the tools to be a good defender in this league, but he may not be the impact player people thought he would be immediately. We'll see if he can ever develop into that for this team.
The Lions are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He got the attention of scouts pretty quickly when he had a game-winning catch that most receivers would have trouble bringing in. With one outstretched hand, he caught a pass that looked like it was about to sail out of the back of the end zone. He proved that even the big guys can make some incredible plays with their hands. And in a league where receiving tight ends are becoming a premium, it's no wonder this team took him here.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
He's always been known as a smart runner, and if you just look at what he did at the All-Star game, you'd see why he gets that recognition. Every time he was handed the ball, there was no indecisiveness as he attacked the gap and didn't waste time reading the blocks. And when the line failed to open up anything, he still found ways to get a few yards. As Matt Miller put it, he may not be the strongest or fastest, but his vision more than makes up for any deficiency. He could very well become an every down back, which is exactly what this team could use.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. Vikings are now on the clock. Vikings just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
Scouts never want to see a linebacker run a slow 40. After he chose not to run at the combine, he turned in a disappointing 5-second 40 at his pro day. In his case, you could argue there are some great current and former linebackers who weren't the fastest athletes, but they were the exception to the rule. The jury's still out on this kid, but it's clear this team was willing to gamble on him with this pick.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
This is a player that draft experts really didn't start talking about until the tail end of the season. The biggest topic of discussion was where the sudden change in production came from. I talked to his college position coach, and he told me that a nagging injury slowed him down early in the season. You can clearly see he favored one side over the other when he was put out on the field or even walking on the sidelines. After he was benched for a few weeks, he came back and played at a much higher level. Even so, some teams were still cautious and did a thorough medical examination at the combine to be sure he was completely recovered. The results must have been positive for the team to have just drafted him now. As long as he can stay healthy, I really like what he brings to this team.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. Now that the Ravens have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about him.
The key concern I've been hearing from several GMs is that he simply isn't in good enough physical shape to see significant action early in the season. Even with a full off-season of NFL conditioning, the feeling is that he will not be able to stay on the field every down and maintain that high level of play coaches want out of their guys. The game never slows down at this level. He's going to have to get in better shape if he wants to be an every down player. This is a kid who may eventually make an impact in the league, but it may take an entire year to get his body into the kind of shape needed to make an impact at this level.
The Ravens are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
While he was never called a burner in school, his 40 at the combine revealed how slow he really was. He ran just under 5 seconds, and that time sent his draft stock tumbling. There were even some big guys out there that ran faster than he did. His lack of speed was a big concern for a lot of scouts in attendance, and they're worried he'll struggle to get separation from defenders and make plays in the open field. I imagine the team will be utilizing him for short yardage and pass protection situations.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. Walter's off the board, Adam. Tell us more.
Coming into the season, several scouts had him ranked as the top linebacker prospect entering the draft, and what followed was a flurry of media attention. The constant distractions looked to have taken their toll on him as he struggled to put together consecutive strong performances throughout the entire season. This inconsistency had him all over the experts' draft boards on a week-to-week basis. Even Todd McShay wasn't immune to the ranking roller coaster, having him anywhere from the number 2 to the number 10 linebacker available. This pick will be looked at as a bit of a gamble until he's able to prove he has the mentality it takes to turn in great performances on a week-to-week basis.
The Panthers are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Panthers pick is in. Adam, did Cam Newton get some help?
A torn Achilles tendon almost dashed his NFL dreams, but through pure determination and will, he found a way to rehab and impress scouts at the combine. He was able to make strong cuts and doesn't look as if he's lost any speed as a result of the injury. Even with the success he's currently enjoying, there's significant concern about him doing too much too fast. Count on this training staff continuing his rehab to make sure he's at 100% before he sees the field. He's a significant investment, and I can't see them rushing him back until he's truly ready.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. Welcome to the...
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Tonight, it's a preseason matchup between the Miami Dolphins and the New York Giants. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. So here come the Dolphins now as they get set to take over on offense. They'll be led out by their quarterback. Out of Oregon, it's Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota's skill set can help continue to evolve the position of quarterback in the NFL because his ability to run with the football, you may not utilize it as little as other coaches have in the past. You may emphasize that part of the game a little bit more.
First carry now. This is Hill. And he's not going anywhere to start the night. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? And almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility?
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. 3rd and long here for Mariota. A dump off now to Hill. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a gain of 7, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Brad Wing now to punt it away on 4th down. Back deep, it's Odell Beckham.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Here's Beckham. So quick on the spin.
He's spinning, man.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
No question at all about his talent, and that's been on display since his first game as a starter at Florida State. On a Monday night, the whole country watching, he only missed 2 passes in the entire game and led his team to a big victory and later a national championship as a freshman. Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
Touchdown, Giants! Odell Beckham, 63 yards. And the Giants are going to take a first-quarter lead.
I think if you polled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field. And that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
So now here come the Dolphins. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got a look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
They open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop.
All right, partner, despite my eating habits, I'm not big enough to play offensive tackle, nor am I quick enough. But with the defensive ends nowadays and their speed, those guys have to be able to punch and dance, and it's a tough, tough job to contain them.
Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. The tackle by Janoris Jenkins. Time to feature the offensive starters, and our first chance to get a look at Parker.
Devontae Parker came out of Louisville with a guy who was known as a mature receiver. Runs routes really well, but the best part of his game, he'll jump over you at the end of a route and go get the football.
So here we go now, an extra defensive back in there on 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Mariota firing quickly here, and that's complete. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Beckham, the return. And 9 yards there on the return following a punt of 47. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Giants offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They'd have to make a few additional changes.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Beckham with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Giants strike quickly here for 6 points. That's a heck of a start to this one for him here in the first quarter.
2 receiving touchdowns, just getting the game underway essentially. I mean, there's a long way to go. If I'm on defense, I've got to figure out how to slow this guy down. Because when one guy shreds your team, that's demoralizing. Make him spread it around at least. But right now, he's showing no signs of slowing down.
Kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And with a new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about... yards as he only gets to the 20. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
And some room to work, and he'll be out of bounds right at the 35. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. That led to a really nice game.
13 yards there on the pickup, and it's first down, Miami.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something? Until they stop him, that big boy's going to keep getting the football. And that might be the direction that they're going to go right now. All right, I'm doing my rudimentary math here. That's his 3rd catch here in the first quarter. I don't know if it's just game plan or he's just finding his way open.
And maybe a little of both. On second down, Hill. Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. And we look now at the defense for the Giants.
Olivier Vernon is a defensive end that combines terrific run-stopping ability with a quick first step to the passer.
And 5 in the secondary now for the Giants on 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Hill. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive linemen, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a first down.
Jarvis Landry, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Throwing again. Mariota on 2nd and 10. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Really good defensive effort. They were all over that little swing pass out to the right side, but for lost yardage.
Terrific read, better execution, and done with a lot of enthusiasm, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
They saw it all the way, ran to the football.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Dolphins in possession of the football. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. Finding time. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. New York set to take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, wrong pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up, whether it's on...
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Giants. Javonte Herndon, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Giants add on to their lead. And Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they design every play to score. I don't know how true that is, but he had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. I mean, that's the only way to put it in there, and that's what we got on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
And it is now 21-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, if there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. Jay Ajayi's going to go. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jay Ajayi, 61 yards. And the Dolphins are able to draw a bit closer. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Now Andrew Frank's on for the point after. It's up, it's good, and that'll cut the lead to 21-7. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. Frank's now on to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded at the 2. Spinning past him. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time.
That's true.
That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Here we go now. 3-19.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Hassan Ridgeway in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
They do get 18, but even that won't be quite enough. It's 4th down.
Boy, they had a lot of real estate to make up there, but what a big-time play for them. Nice completion, excellent gain. Now they're in 4th and manageable.
Just a little short, though, with that marker. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's got room. The 40, 20, 10, and all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Marshawn Coppridge, 66 yards. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. And an explosive long run, really. Play.
What a fantastic play, too, because when you get one of those runs, you know everything came together well. The blocking, but especially the runner himself, able to find a gap and take it the distance.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And the Dolphins getting set to go here. Last time they were out, they scored. Still trailing here, though, so some work to do.
But it's okay in terms of mindset. Because they scored the last time, they're not quite as worried about...
Ajayi hit. He lost the football. And great field position coming up in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
No coach or team's ever happy when someone has a turnover, but if there's ever a good time to do it,
preseason.
Yeah, right now. You know that to come regular season, he's going to be ready to go, and maybe he'll remember, yeah, I don't want to do this when it comes time for the games to count.
And New York set to take... the field. And a great spot to start this drive from here.
All right, here we go.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, he had 6 points in his hands there. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why...
Oh, and he's not going to make it out of the end zone. The push too strong, and that'll be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. It's going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down. Looking to throw. He's going to float this one deep. It's caught inside the 25. A big play there for the Giants. 42 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Javonte Herndon ready for the regular season with his second touchdown of the game. And the Giants just continue to pour it on. And he's having a nice little first half for your partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And the Dolphins offense now ready to go back out on the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get, and it's just so strange to see that go up on the board, and then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points. That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. They'll set up a throw. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
I think you're right, partner. They'll look to throw here on first down. They dump off underneath to Ajayi. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Give him 11 on the gain there. And the Dolphins are going to get a first down. Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence. What terrifies defenses when they see slant routes thrown is that the receiver is on the move, and oftentimes he catches it and gets upfield. Does a really nice job rallying to him and stopping him for a minimal gain.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
They'll look to throw. He's got time, and he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. So now on 4th down, on trots the Dolphins field goal unit and Andrew Franks. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. And Frank's kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So it goes down as an 8-play drive, and they cap it with the field goal.
Yeah, they were able to pick up a few first downs along the way, but they couldn't keep the momentum going all the way into the end zone.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis.
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third. They'll look to throw here. Going up top. So they took a shot there on third down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had to fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Give him 6 on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. They go play action here on first down. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Jonathan Hankins coming hard that time. He's able to run him down for a loss of 12.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
Room here to run. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And they'll add a DB in the secondary here on 3rd and 14. Now back to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this. And pump the brakes, Larry. Pump the brakes. We are ready for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we...
Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. A look at the offense now here, coming back out on the road for their first possession of the second half. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that. They weren't happy with that field goal. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now the pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Alex McAllister in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And the Giants will begin this drive in good shape, 1st and 10. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field. They have the lead here. Try to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
They were looking that time for Leonte Carew. And it's 2nd down. So they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
And this defense looks for one more stop here on 3rd after the run.
Well, that's why the guy with the headsets is down there. All right, they know what they're doing because they got stuffed on a running play on 1st down. And I think myself and probably the fans were saying throw the football in this situation. But he knew what he was doing, called another run, and now they've got 3rd and short.
Here's Brad Wing now as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and end of the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it. It must be something about the night air, because he is putting on an absolute show under the light.
Yeah, we've established anything in his vicinity, he's grabbing it. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. Just what you want on a 1st down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to carve out about 6 there, down to the 37.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll go down at the 28. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He had told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive.
When the 4-3 defense is functioning really well, you know he stays what we call clean and no one gets to him. The guy playing the middle linebacker position, the guy we call Mike, that means the defensive front is eating up all the blocks and just let him go to the football and make a play. I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight, but I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
And that is caught. He's got it for a giant touchdown. A great play there from 19 yards away. And the Giants have got it on cruise control. Well, he wasn't the guy they were initially going for, but after going through the progressions, it worked.
When you have plenty of people who can catch the football, you don't always have to go to your primary target, and sometimes that target is actually covered. Nice job coming off of that and getting it to someone who was open.
And the man out of the backfield gets in for the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
And the offense behind the chains here a touch on 2nd and 11. And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call.
False start, offense.
Again with a J. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Well, that was better than the first go-around when he lost yardage, but still nothing there, and that sets up a 3rd and long. Tough spot here.
Put it mildly. Sometimes I wonder if some of that old-school football should come back into play. You know what I would think here? Quick kick.
Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to have the football back as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. Welcome back now here in East Rutherford. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. They'll give it to him right up the gut. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, let me puff out my chest a little bit, even though I'm not rooting for either team. That was a really nice defensive play. It's awfully fun to watch, even in an offensive game.
He takes it down to the 42, a 5-yard run.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
The 13 yards that time at a 1st.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
That throw has to be a quarterback's dream, doesn't it? Big tight end, curling in the middle of the field, so it's great sight lines for him. And when they show their numbers back to the quarterback, when they sit down right there, that should be pitch and catch.
They'll drop the throw. And oh, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
What has not been the best game for him, but he definitely tried to get by with a little help from his friend there, trying to create a big play.
Couldn't do it, fell incomplete. But you're right, hasn't been a banner game here in the 2nd half, just trying to get going.
Big thing is trying to keep confidence up and continue to fire.
Javonte Hearn in the intended target, and now it's 4th down. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw, surveying the field. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Dolphins' defense is able to hold. So we were looking at each other up here in the booth when they went for that saying, oh, wow, talk about trying to add insult to injury.
Some teams are just like that. You know, some philosophies, some coaches are like, look, when I got a chance to put some more points on the board, I don't care what the situation, I'm going to do it. And they're also the same coaches as a general rule that if someone does it to them, you won't hear a peep or protest out of them. That's just who they are.
Quick pass play there on the slant, Charles. Works out well for the offense.
The offense loves it. The defender hates it. Hard to get through the body of the receiver to get to the football trying to cover a slant.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Back to throw now on first down. Over the middle here to Brown. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Simple slant route and part of a really nice hard throw by the quarterback.
Nice timing between the quarterback and the receiver. They were perfectly in sync, and he put it right on him on the inside route.
And he will find his man on the outside. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Green 39! Green 39!
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's got his man on the out route. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
And the dreaded face mask penalty, that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards is the right call.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9. Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on third. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. That is caught at the 7-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down. Time for a break. This one all over but the shouting. We'll finish it. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And they give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Second down following the run. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play.
All right, here we go.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
And that's a nice pickup of a first down on that second down run. And at that yardage gained, they can run that play on any down.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. 6 yards here to go for the offense on second down.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels. We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player. On third down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the first down marker was and getting there.
All right, here we go.
And to give this time to the tailback. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11.
So, Brandon, when this offense gathers together to watch tape for this game, they're going to be feeling pretty good about themselves until the coaches get upset about the play we just saw. But you know their defense is going to be. But we put up big points all game long. The defense is going to win one every now and then.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. They'll set up to throw. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that.